I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit. Thank y'all for the congratulations.
Stand right here, Mr. Wright. Face the judge. Raise your right hand. You swear to tell the truth, truth, and nothing but
I do.
watch your step. Do you have his name down? Could you spell his first name for me?
Cordell.
Right. Right together, sir.
Thank you, Judge. Good morning, Mr. Wright.
Good morning.
And Mr. Wright, do you have a nickname?
Yes.
And what's your nickname?
King.
Is that K-I-N-G?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. How old are you?
37.
When's your birthday?
11/17.
What year?
86.
Terrible.
And Mr. Wright, back in January 2024, were you on an MDOC tether?
Yes, I was.
Okay. And what dates were you on tether from?
From March 14th, 23 to March 28th of 24.
And what
Yeah.
were your tether restrictions back then?
I could leave the house from 6 in the morning. I had to be back in by 9 p.m.
Mr. Wright, do you know someone named Jarvis Butts?
Yes, I do.
How do you know Jarvis Butts?
I first met him. We worked together at a shop called Frank's, and then we owned the shop together.
Okay. And do you see
Yeah,
Jarvis
it's
Butts in
weird.
the courtroom today?
No.
You, would you be able to stand up so you can look around?
Yes. No.
When did you meet Mr. Butts?
2018.
And you said you two worked together initially at a place called Frank's?
Frank's.
All right. Where was Frank's at?
He has a couple locations. He has 7, but the one I met him at was on Warren and Neff.
Warren and then. Okay. And
I hope they do
what
too.
Frank's did you work at with Mr. Butts?
Warren and Neff.
May I approach?
Yes.
And Mr. Wright, I'm approaching people's proposed exhibits 4, 5, and 6. Can you look at these and tell me if you recognize those?
I recognize this one, and this one.
And those are those a fair and accurate depiction of the Frank's Auto Shops? At least 2 of them on Warren and the other one maybe on Harper?
Yes.
Okay. Which is the one that's on Harper?
The last one on the inside.
Okay. And that's People's Exhibit, proposed exhibit 6?
Yes.
Okay. You're not moving for the admission of People's 4, 5, and 6?
Any objection? No objection, Your Honor. You'll be admitted as equal to exhibits 4, 5, and 6.
Thank you, Judge.
He said his birthday was in '86. I didn't hear. I don't remember the date. I'd have to rewind.
You worked at Frank's with Mr. Butts.
A few years.
About how many years would you estimate?
2.
And when did that change from Frank's to another shop?
Maybe in 23 sometime.
Okay. Would it be earlier in the year or later in the year?
Maybe mid, maybe in May. Well, maybe April, May.
And then where did you guys work then?
We got a shop together on 9,000 Connor.
And what is at 9,000 Connor?
A Sicko, a car wash, and our shop was in the middle of both.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Mr. Wright, I'm handing you this marked with people proposed exhibits 7 and 8. Can you look at those and tell me if you recognize them?
Yes, I recognize.
Okay. And are those a fair and accurate depiction of your shop at 9000 Connor?
Yes, it is.
And you're not with the admission that people's proposed exhibits 7 and 8?
Any objection? No objection. They'll be admitted as people's exhibits 7 and 8.
Thank you, Judge. Who was it that you mainly worked with at 9000 Connor?
I'm sorry.
Who was it that you worked with at 9000 Connor?
Jarvis.
I want to take you back to when you were working at Frank's with Mr. Butts. Did you ever see Mr. Butts with any children there?
Yes.
And specifically, did you see him with any young girl children?
Yes.
And did you know who those were?
Yes.
Who were they? Who were they?
His daughter, his niece.
Daughters and niece. What about any boys?
That wasn't it.
Yes.
Yeah, there were other ones too.
His sons.
How often would you see him with children there at Frank's?
Sporadically.
And at 9000 Connor, did you see Mr. Butts with any children then?
Yes.
Any girls?
Yes.
And who would they be?
His daughter.
And what about any boys?
Yes.
And who would they be?
His sons.
And how often would you see him with children at 9000 Connor?
Sporadic.
And as it relates to this case, it's fair to say that you spoke with Detroit police a few times?
Yes, about 4.
About 4 times? Okay. That first time that you talked to Detroit police, do you recall about when that was?
The first time was the day before Valentine's Day, so like February 13th.
February 13th, and is that of 2024?
Yes.
Okay. All right. And at that time, were you presented with a jail call?
Yes.
Okay. And who was that jail call with?
Jarvis.
Okay. And who was he talking to?
Me.
All right.
Oh, here we go.
What was the topic of that jail call?
He called and asked would I receive a cell phone out of a truck for him.
And were you familiar with what truck he was asking you to get it from?
Yes.
What truck was that?
It was a Z71 Chevy Suburban.
And did you know who that truck belonged to?
Yeah, his baby mom or somebody he was dealing with.
Okay. And do you recall listening to that jail call?
Yeah, I recall.
Okay. If I would move to admit the jail call from, I believe it's February 8th, 2024,
Wow.
between Mr. Wright and Mr. Jarvis.
Any objection?
No objection.
Shannon is.
Exhibit number
Sorry, that's exhibit number 1.
Hold on a second.
Exhibit one.
Thank you, Judge. And may I publish?
Yes, I need co-hosts.
Thank you, Judge.
Here's the call.
And for the record,
Yeah, thank y'all for letting me know.
Exhibit 1.
That's it.
This is a one-time free 3-minute call from an inmate at Woody County Jail. Your phone is not set to collect calls. This call has been provided by Helmet as a courtesy for friends and family. You cannot receive additional calls from this inmate until you call prepaid. We can take your credit or debit card information over the phone and connect you immediately back to your call. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. Press 1 to accept all communications from this. Thank you for using Helmet.
Huh? My guy, what's up, man?
Nah, shit, man. What's happening?
Nah, shit, man. How you feeling? My bad, I missed your call. I was working like a motherfucker.
I figured they said you was up there banging, said you something banging.
Yeah, you know it, you know it, you know
What's
it.
up, my nigga? Who is that, huh? What's up, boy?
You know it.
Hey, shit. Man, I'm calling, man. You bitch, they put my money up on my fucking books, bro.
Oh yeah, take a minute when you put that shit on there. Even if you walk in with it, man, they be playing it crazy.
Yeah,
I swear to God, they just got a machine and shit. You show you straight, you need something. I mean, I'm gonna come out to that.
Yeah, you know, I have money on my books.
They're putting money on his books.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so they put this shit on my hookup. I was looking for the tab and they come up $0. That's some bullshit.
That shit crazy.
Yeah.
How is it though?
Man, that's some bullshit. I'm really gonna be quarantined on this whole shit, bro.
Oh yeah, they got you on that quarantine club for how long? 3 days?
I don't know how long, nigga. Shit, I'm about to be the only one in this bitch on my part.
You say what happened?
I said, shit, I'm about to be the number here in this motherfucker. You want to do something this bitch?
Okay.
Yeah, so.
What you need?
Huh?
No, I was trying to tell you what that customer needs. Man, listen. You straight?
Yeah, good, my nigga.
Huh?
So yeah, I'm good, oh shit, yeah. You got a passion number, right?
Yeah.
So Dig, I need you to call her one day, nigga, and get that truck up there, nigga. Get my phone out there back seat, bro.
Oh man. Alright. Well, I'm supposed to get the truck up there. What will tell her?
Tell her you got you fuck around the lost car that there too when we was moving the radiator.
Okay.
Come see. Now,
He said, "Get my phone out of that truck." Tell her to go get the phone out of my
You
truck.
have 1 minute remaining for this call.
reach my hand in that back seat.
Where? Yeah.
So you reach behind that back seat, bro. The box right there. Straight behind the middle of that back seat, bro.
Okay, under it or in the back or in the back
In
thing?
the back, right in the back of the seat, bro.
Okay. I'm not.
Second row.
Where's the phone?
Well, I need to see. You know you took the key. You took the key to the gate.
It's the same key.
I don't got that key to it.
Yeah, you do. It's the same key to the lock and the door.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. All right.
Yeah, it's the same key, bro.
Now, you know I got you. I'll put the money on the phone later, man. When I get around, baby, I will put the credit card. You?
You get him on that. I call my wife and have her bring it up to see.
No, I don't need it though. If you said the same one, I got it. So I don't need it right now anyway. Just when I get the scrap out of there.
Okay.
And Mr. Wright, were you successful in getting that cell phone from the vehicle like Mr. Butt asked you to?
She came up there, but no, I wasn't successful. It wasn't there.
Wasn't there? Okay.
When you say she, who you refer to?
Tasha.
And who's Taki that you know of?
It's an
His
ex.
baby mom.
Okay. Did you look
That's
for it in
his
the
ex.
vehicle?
Yeah, I looked for it.
Okay. And you were unsuccessful at finding it.
Yes.
Garbage.
And Mr. Wright, I want to talk to you now about the second time that you were speaking with Detroit police. Would it be fair to say that was just a couple days after your first time?
It was not long, a few weeks maybe. I was off tether at that point, I believe.
Okay. And do you recall talking about fixing a red jaguar and going to Ypsilanti?
Yes, I do.
How many times did you and Mr. Butts go to Ypsilanti?
I believe it was either 2 or 3.
Okay. All right. And how did that come about? Whose red jaguar is this?
My son's grandma.
Your son's grandma.
So she called, said she was having some problems with it, and asked if we would come look at it, which is not unusual. We do house calls depending on the person and where it's located. But this is my son's grandma, so of course we're
Bet
gonna
they
make
do.
an exception. She called and said she was having problems with the car. Asked if we would come look at it. We went, assessed the car at her house the first time. I think we made a minor repair there, not to the extent that it was the problem that she was having after the fact.
Okay. So, where is this red jaguar located when you guys go out to see it?
Mr. My son's grandma driveway in Ypsilanti,
It was nice.
off Michigan Avenue, I believe.
All right. And who goes with you out there that first time?
Jarvis?
Okay. Is it just you and Jarvis Butts?
Yes.
Okay. So you guys go out there and you assess.
Here we go, they're
make
walking
minor
it down.
repair.
Yeah.
Does it completely fix the car?
For that problem, yes.
Okay. And then is there another time that you end up having to do work on this red jaguar?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about that.
She drove the Jaguar for a while. It was doing fine. Then she said it was leaking something. I asked her what it was leaking. She said she didn't know. I asked her if she could get it towed to the shop. She said yeah.
Okay. So at some point, this red Jaguar gets towed to your shop at 9000 Connor.
Yes.
Okay. And who works on it at 9000 Connor?
Me and Jarvis.
Okay. And what do you do when you finish fixing? Do you ever finish fixing the red Jaguar?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you do when you finish fixing it?
We take it back to her. I called her first and asked her how she was planning on retrieving the vehicle. She said she was going to tow it, and I didn't want to cost her no more money, so I told her that we could bring it.
Okay. And do you recall if that was on or about January 9th of 2024?
It was on.
It was on that day?
Yes.
Okay. So on that day, before you take the red Jaguar back, who was, tell me about how that day started for you.
I woke up. I typically leave the house at 6 because that's what time I could leave. So I went to the gym. I got to the shop probably around 8:30. I don't know who opened the shop. I can't really recall which one of us opened it, but Jarvis may have been there already. A few cars came in, then the Jaguar probably got there maybe around 9 o'clock. I assessed the Jaguar. Jarvis left for a moment. I had another mechanic. Being it's a foreign car, so I had a foreign car mechanic on call to help with the work, but he was busy, so he came. Said he wouldn't have time to do it, so I think I Googled it, seen how it was done, and I proceeded taking the water pump off.
Okay. So you were working on the Jaguar, and is Mr. Buck at work that day?
Yes, he was there.
Okay. What do you guys, you and Mr. Butts, do as it relates to work?
They might have been doing it together. Y'all right? Could be.
I think we had a few cars that came in that needed some minor repairs. Between that and the Jaguar, we was jumping in and out of the Jaguar job, and the cars that could pull it up, maybe oil change, tune up, whatever, et cetera, so forth was. But we was mainly working on the Jaguar, trying to get the water pump off, as it is a hard job to do.
And do you always have all of your parts on stock, or on your person in stock with you?
No, we call either AutoZone, Mansfield, one of the auto stores that has them.
Okay. And did you have to go get any auto parts on January 9th?
Yes, we had to go get the water pump for the Jaguar, as well as some other parts, I believe, for other cars.
Okay. And when you go and get parts, is it usually just one of you, both of you, or something else?
That depending. If it's a car there, then one of us will stay. If it's not a car there, we go together sometimes.
Okay. And on January 9th of 2024, did you guys, did one of you guys go to the auto parts store, or did you both go?
We both went.
Both went? Okay. Tell me what happens when you go to the auto parts store.
Before that, I called them. They ordered the water pump, so we went and picked it up when they called and said it was in. We got in the truck, went to AutoZone, got the water pump. On our way back from AutoZone, I believe we forgot something, so we ended up turning back around, going back to AutoZone, grabbed whatever we forgot, came back.
What'd you forget?
And on our way back, we was coming down Harbor. Jarvis said, "I see my niece right there. She walking." We pulled into Angel's liquor store. I still didn't see her. He pointed across my face, said she right there. She was coming across the street at that time. She got in the truck with us. She spoke, "Hi King, hi Jay," and we proceeded back to the shop.
Okay. So when you guys are driving to these auto parts stores, who's driving?
Jarvis,
Okay. And where are you at?
passenger seat.
Okay. And you said when you guys are heading back to the
Why was she
shop
walking?
The second time.
Mm-hmm.
That's when you said Jarvis spots someone.
Yes,
Who does he say that he spots?
his niece.
His niece. Okay. And do you recognize his niece?
Yes, when I see her, when he pointed her out to me, yes, I recognize her walking across the street.
Okay. And so you guys pull over. Where does she get into the car at?
I believe she getting the behind me, so the back seat behind me.
Okay. Does Jarvis say anything to her?
Yeah, she speaks to both of us, and we speak back.
Okay. What does he say to her?
Hi.
Hi. And where do you guys go after you pick up his niece?
Back to the shop.
Okay, and that's at 9000 Connor?
Yes.
Okay. And what do you guys do when you get back to 9000 Connor?
He back in. We get out. We proceed to working on the Jaguar. I may have got out the car first with the parts, and he was in the car with her for a second. I got out, started working on the Jaguar.
And
Where did he go?
does, what happens next? What do you guys do?
I believe she get out, get into the front seat, reposition herself to the front seat of his truck. It was colder that day. I believe she started the truck. We started working on the Jaguar, putting the parts back on. It took a little minute. Like I said, it was a difficult job, so it took a while. At some point, I believe his truck ran out of gas, so we had to stop what we were doing to push his truck to the gas pump so he could get some gas.
So this story makes no sense. So they go back, and Naziah was sitting in the car. She turned the car on. She was in the front seat because it was cold that day. And they were out there working on the car for some time. And she was just sitting there. And then the car ran out of gas. So they had to. This doesn't make any sense.
So you said that she gets out of the car that you guys were in?
Yes.
Okay, and then she gets into Jarvis' truck.
No. We was always in Jarvis' truck.
Okay.
So she gets out of the back seat and repositions herself to the front seat so she can start the cover.
And tell me, what kind of car, what kind of truck does Jarvis drive?
Escalade.
Okay. And what color?
It's pearl white.
This makes no sense. So she was just hanging out in the car? What?
What, if you can see, what is his niece doing while you guys are working on at shop?
I believe she's on her cell phone, I believe.
For a while? She's just sitting there on her phone.
Does Jarvis ever take his niece anywhere that, like, while you guys are working at the shop?
No.
No? Okay. Did you ask him if he was going to take her
Come on,
home at all?
man.
I believe I asked him was he gonna drop her off when the truck ran out of gas. We had to push it to the pump. It was just a distraction from work, so I asked was he gonna drop her off. He said no.
That's weird.
And
No, she's gonna stay with me.
do you finish working? Did you finish working on the Jaguar that day?
Yes.
Okay. And what happens after you finish up on the Jaguar?
I called my son grandma and asked her how she was gonna retrieve the vehicle. She said she was gonna tow it back. I told her she didn't have to do that. That was just spending extra money. So I asked Jarvis, was it all right if we dropped it off? He said yes. And we started making preparations to do so.
Do you recall about what time you guys finished the Jaguar and prepared to leave?
Probably around 7:30 or somewhere around there.
So 4 hours they were sitting there? Didn't he say 3 something?
When do you guys eventually leave the shop?
Yes.
Okay. And tell me about who all leaves the shop?
Me, Jarvis, and his niece.
Okay. And tell me about the driving arrangements.
So I drove my 300 and Jarvis drove the Jaguar.
And where was his niece at?
She was with him in the front seat of the Jaguar.
Now, are you able to recall what his niece looked like that day?
Yes. Faintly, but yes.
Do you remember what kind of clothing she was wearing?
I remember she had her jacket on. Like I said, a coat. It was cold, so I think it was colorful.
Colorful?
Yeah.
This is wild, man. How could you not know? Something seemed off.
And you're may I approach? Yes. And Mr. Wright, I'm approaching you with People's Proposed Exhibit 2. And I'm going to direct you to the top left corner. Can you tell me, is there anything that you recognize in that?
The jacket in Channel 1.
Okay. And is that a fair and accurate depiction of the jacket that you've seen his niece, Jarvis's niece, wearing that day?
Yes.
And I move for the admission of People's Proposed Exhibit 2.
Any objection? Okay. So we have it as People's Exhibit 2.
Thank you. And
That doesn't surprise me, Danny. Danny's saying that he entered a not guilty plea.
And then showing you its mark appeals code.
Shocker.
3. Do you recognize what I just handed you?
Yes.
Thanks.
Correct,
And
Mimi.
is that a fair and accurate depiction of Jarvis's niece as you remember seeing her back on January 9th, 2024?
Yes.
Okay, and is that the same niece that went with you to Ypsilanti?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And I move for the admission of people's proposed exhibit 3.
No objection. Okay, it'll be a minute as people in exhibit 3.
Thank you.
So, I mean, why was she just walking down the street and did they not know where she was or care? I don't know. Y'all gotta let me know what you think about this. She was just walking down the street and Jarvis picks her up. So did she say she was going somewhere else? Did she normally walk the streets? Was she in contact with anybody else? Something had to have happened that day. Or maybe that was just regular. I don't know.